be guiding you through this short, beginner-friendly yoga class today. If you're new to yoga, have no fear. This is a wonderful place to start. We're going to take our time building some poses and building a flow. We'll practice breathing and moving with our breath, and we'll gently explore what our bodies can do. Remember, this is your practice, and it's important to pay attention to how your body feels throughout. So if I ever ask you to do something and it doesn't feel right, feel free to skip it or modify as needed. If you have a couple yoga blocks like these or the light foam ones, I suggest you grab it for a little extra support. And if you don't have them, that's fine. We'll work without it. So when you're ready, grab your yoga mat, put on something comfortable, and let's get started. So we'll begin here on the floor, seated in an easy seated pose. I'm sitting up on a block to just allow my hip area to open up a little more. So if you have tight hips and you feel like sitting on the floor really causes you to round through the spine, I encourage you to try sitting up on something. If this is not comfortable on your knees, please feel free to sit any way that you feel comfortable and supported. So when you're ready, go ahead and come into this pose. Just let your hands rest anywhere on your lap. Take a deep breath in as you sit up a little bit taller, lengthening through the spine. And on your exhale, I invite you to close your eyes. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, soften your gaze, maybe look down at the tip of your nose or at the floor in front of you. We'll take another deep breath in. And a long exhale. And one more time, deep breath in. And exhale to let it go. If that breathing feels comfortable and helpful to you, feel free to keep doing that. Otherwise, let your breathing return to its natural rhythm. And we'll just take a moment here to set an intention for our practice. When we set an intention, we are really just making a choice about how we want to feel, how we want to embody this practice. So maybe you just want to practice being present. Maybe you want to feel strong and powerful. Maybe it's as simple as finishing this practice, following through. There's no right or wrong, so whatever feels right, whatever is calling you today, with these next few breaths, repeat it to yourself or out loud. And we'll take one more big breath in together. And exhale, let it go. If your eyes are closed, you can flutter them open or keep them closed if you want. I'm going to remove the block from underneath me because that feels right for me. If you want to keep it, go ahead. And then again, bringing the hands to the knees, we'll practice a seated cat-cow. So on your inhale, we're going to press the chest forward. Think of squeezing the shoulder blades and lift the chin just slightly. Exhale, rounding your back, curling your spine, tucking your chin towards your chest, and maybe for a little extra grounding, you hold onto your knees and feel the pressure of leaning back. And then again, inhale, cat, cow. Press the chest forward. Exhale, cow. One more time. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Come back up to your neutral seated position, and we'll inhale the arms, reach them out and up overhead. On your exhale, drop your left hand down to the floor at your side. Reach your right arm up. See if you can press your right glute, your right butt cheek into the floor as you reach your fingertips in the opposite direction. And then exhale to lean over towards the left. So really making a lot of length through the right side of your body. And then while we're here, take that right thumb and think of pulling it back behind you. So finding a little bit of a twist through the torso to open up. Take one more breath. Let it go. And then we'll inhale to come back up to center. Both arms come overhead. Exhale to the other side. So right hand comes to the floor. Left arm reaches up as your left butt cheek reaches down. And then exhale, leaning over to the right. So this is another place where you could grab your block. If bringing your hands that far down to the ground is uncomfortable, you can always, in any position, bring that block underneath your hands to think of lifting the floor up to meet you. Take your thumb, left thumb, pull it back, open up. And we'll inhale, both arms up overhead. From here, we're going to twist to the right. So as we exhale, the right hand comes behind us, left hand comes to the outside of the right leg or maybe the right knee. Tent your right fingertips into the floor or again into your block behind you, and then press them into the floor to sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, we're going to start at the base of the spine and twist until your head finally turns to look toward or over your right shoulder. And it's important to note in these twists that we're never cranking it, especially in the neck. We're just letting the head follow along. Inhale, again, sit up nice and tall. We're still in that twist. And exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper. And then we'll inhale, come back to center, reach overhead. To the other side, exhale, left hand comes behind you, right hand comes to your left leg. Inhale, press into the left fingertips or palm to sit up tall. Exhale, twisting over to the left, towards the left. And we'll take another breath in as we think of getting a little taller. And exhale, maybe we just twist a little deeper. Inhale, come back to center. We'll reach the arms up overhead. And we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. So you might just roll over your knees to come up. You might flip your legs around and come up that way. Any way is the right way. On our hands and knees, we're going to have our hands right underneath our shoulders, our knees right underneath our hips, and then go ahead and untuck the toes. We're going to stay here. It's called tabletop pose, and we're going to make it nice and active. So for the next few breaths, think of pressing the fingertips and all of your knuckles into the floor. Strengthen up through the arms. You've got a slight bend in your elbows. We're going to turn the belly on. So imagine you're pulling the base of your muscles down here in your pelvis all the way up towards your belly button, and then your belly button is going up and in towards your spine. You might feel a separation in your shoulder blades. We're nice and strong here. Think of pressing your shin bones into the floor. Just a couple more breaths. And then from here, keep that nice and strong posture. We're going to take the right knee, the right foot, and extend that leg behind us. Flex the right foot. And you might keep your toes closer to the ground. Your leg might be up parallel to your body or in line with your body, parallel to the floor. If this feels where you want to stay here. Or you might begin to add on by extending the left arm out in front of you. Take a breath, stay here. Nice and strong. If your hand is on the floor, you can keep it there. If your hand is extended, what we're going to do, we're going to inhale, get nice and long, everyone. And as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest. And if your arm is extended out in front of you, bring your elbow in towards that knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it in. Last time, inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it in. Go ahead, extend everything, and then drop the left hand to the floor, the right knee to the floor. And we'll move to the other side. So come back to that nice strong tabletop first. When you're ready, we'll work on extending the left leg first. You might stay there, or maybe you add on. And if you add on and you decide that's not for you, put your hand back down. There's no shame in that. If you're adding on, extend the right arm in front of you. Wherever you are, take another breath, lengthen, and then we'll exhale, knee and maybe elbow come in together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. Last time. Exhale, bring it all in. Inhale, extend, and then we bring everything back down to the floor. If you are new to yoga or being on your wrists, go ahead, take a pause, roll out your wrists, and then we'll come right back. We've got a little bit of a plank, and then just to turn everything on, and then we will come off of our wrists. So stick with me. Options here for plank. You can stay on your knees. Just walk your knees back a little bit, untuck the toes again, and then we come into this active pose. So we're squeezing the glutes, pulling the belly button in, separating through the shoulder blades and pressing the hands into the floor. Breathe. If you want to come up onto your toes, do that. One more breath. Exhale, release. Come off of your wrists, circle it out. We're going to do that one more time. Okay, so coming back forward, hands and knees. If you took your knees last time and you want to try your toes, I encourage you to try. And if that doesn't work, come back down to the knees. So tuck your toes under, lift the knees, squeeze the glutes. Think of turning on through the quads, pulling that belly button up and in. One more breath. From here, we're sending the hips up and back, downward dog. So before we pause, take a second to pedal out through the knees, the legs, bending one knee and then the other. And then when you're ready, we'll come to a stillness. And in our downward dog, our goal is to make length through the side body and the back. So if you've got your knees pretty much straight and you feel like you can't stop rounding through the back, bend the knees nice and generously and feel the length through your lower back, through your spine. Take one more breath, and then we'll look forward and walk ourselves up to our forward fold. You might take big steps, little steps, come up onto your fingertips. When you get there, bring your feet hip width apart. Bend your knees pretty deeply. Think of trying to bring your belly onto your legs. And then just let your head be heavy here. If you would like to use your blocks, bring them underneath your hands for just a little added support. Take one more breath in and exhale it out. And on your next inhale, we'll take our time slowly rolling all the way up to standing. Your head is the last thing to come up. When it does, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. We're finding our mountain pose. So mountain pose, it's a pretty active pose, just like our tabletop. We're gonna ground down through the feet, pull up through the quads, a little bit of a tuck to your tailbone, belly button pulls up and in, your chest spreads wide and lifts, your shoulders open up. And then your hands finally fall down at your sides, palms facing forward. So hold this pose nice and strong. You might even think like you're holding a plank. We want it nice and active. One more breath. Let it go. From here, we'll inhale, sweep the arms out and all the way up overhead. This is our upward salute. We'll grab the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale, get a little taller. Think of pulling the left arm up and then sending the left hand over to the right. We're going to bump the hips to the left. And this doesn't have to be a huge bend to the side. It can just be a little extension. Inhale back to center. We'll switch the grip. So left hand comes to the right wrist. Reach a little higher. Exhale, bend towards the left. Inhale back to center. You can you can release your wrist. Lift a little taller. From here, just a little bit of a back bend. Don't be scared. We'll reach pretty tall and then lean back through the upper back. So we want to almost imagine we've got a beach ball behind us and we're just kind of leaning back over it. Take a breath. Come back up to our upward salute. From here, we're going to step and face the left side of the mat. So feet come wide. Turn your toes slightly out. We're going to lift the arms out to the side. And when I do this, I call it cactusing the arms. Kind of look like a cactus. Goddess pose. Bend the knees. Think of opening the legs out so your knees are tracking over your feet. If you notice them caving in, really push them out. Chest is nice and tall. Cactus those arms. Spread your fingers nice and wide. We breathe. Can you sink any lower in your goddess squat? Moving into warrior two from here, we'll come up, straighten through the legs, turn your left toes slightly in, and then your right toes are going to face the front of your mat. You might adjust how far apart your feet are. When you look down at your feet, they're in such a position that if you drew a line from your right heel, it would intersect with the inside of your left foot. Okay, bend your right knee. Notice if you started leaning forward, pull your shoulders back over your hips, and then we'll extend the arms front and back. Look out over your right fingertips, warrior two. Nice and strong. Take one more breath. Let it go. And then we'll inhale, straighten out through the right leg, reach the right fingertips forward, and then we'll reach the right hand down toward our right shin. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. So this is our triangle pose. You've got a slight bend in your right knee, and if you wanted to grab a block, you can bring it either to the inside or the outside of your right foot and use that to press your right fingertips or your right palm into. Deep breath. Let it go. Leave your block right where it is. We're going to inhale, come up, arms reach forward and back, bend the right knee, and then peaceful warrior. Left hand comes down to the left leg, right arm reaches up and back. Deep breath in. Back to our triangle. We'll exhale, straighten the right leg, cartwheel the arms, Your right hand comes down to the block or to your shin, or just fingertips pointing down towards the floor, left arm towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bend the right knee. We're coming into a low lunge. So come up onto the toes or the ball of the left toes, the left foot. Hands frame the right foot, low lunge. See if you can think of pulling your chest up off of your thigh. Take a breath. And then we're going to work on stepping the left foot up to meet the right. Feet are hip width apart or together, that's up to you. We're in our forward fold. From here, instead of standing up from here, we're going to bend the knees coming into chair pose. So think of shifting your weight towards the back of your feet, squat down through your hips, and then lift the chest, reach the arms either overhead, or if that doesn't feel good on your shoulders, you can bring them to prayer at your heart. Inhale. On your next inhale, we stand up tall, reach the arms overhead, and we're going to repeat that all the way through. I'm going to switch sides. You stay right where you are. So inhale, upward salute. Grab the left wrist with the right hand, reach up. Exhale to the side. Inhale, back to center, switch your grip. Reach up. Exhale, leaning over to the left. Inhale, back to center, reach up. Exhale, a little back bend. Inhale, come back to your upward salute. So erase your back bend. We're going to come into that goddess pose. So step your feet wide, facing the right side of your mat this time. Remember, toes are turned out. Squat the legs down, knees tracking over the feet. Chest is lifted. Arms are cactus at your side, fingers spread wide. Breathe. Take a breath in. Exhale, see if you can sink a little lower into your squat. We'll inhale to stand up tall, coming into our warrior two with the left foot forward. So turn your right toe slightly in, left toes face the front of your mat, bend your left leg, and then we'll open the chest to the side, the right side, and open the arms front and back. This time you're looking over your left fingertips. Inhale, straighten through the left leg, lean forward, reach forward, triangle pose. Your left hand comes down towards the left shin, right arm reaches up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, stand up, arms reach front and back, bend the left leg, and then the left arm reaches up and back while your right hand reaches down your right leg. Warrior two. Inhale. We'll exhale, find your triangle one more time. Left hand reaching down towards the left leg, that is long. Right arm reaching up towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale. We'll take one more breath. And then we'll bend the left knee, reach down. We're coming into our low lunge. So hands frame the left foot. You're on the ball of your right foot. Lifting up through the chest. And now from here, remember, we step our right foot forward. Feet come together or hips width apart. Exhale into your forward fold. And then we'll bend the knees, sit the butt down, lift the chest, come into your chair pose. Remember, you have the option, hands at your heart or reaching overhead. Shift your weight slightly back in your feet. Take a breath in and out. And then we inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we're going to bend the knees, step the feet back. You might lower to your knees in your plank or hold your plank. We're here for a bit longer than last time. Nice and strong. Breathe. Take one more breath. And then slowly lower all the way to the floor by hugging your elbows in towards your sides. Come all the way to your belly, untuck your toes. With your hands under your shoulders and your elbows pulled in tight, we're coming into cobra. So what we're going to do is just work on using our back muscles. On an inhale, we'll lift the chest up. And this is baby cobra. So we're keeping it nice and low. You could even take your hands off the floor and keep that lifted feeling because you're using your back and not your hands. One more breath. Exhale, release down. We'll do that again. You can keep it low, or maybe you lift up a little higher this time. So exhale it out, and we'll inhale, lift up a little higher. If you're lifting higher, now is the time to press into your hands. Gaze is out in front of you. Take one more breath. And then exhale, release down. One more time. Take a breath in, exhale it out. And then we'll inhale, press up. Either keep it low, keep it at that same position you had just the second time, or maybe you press all the way up. If you press up and you feel pinch in your lower back, please lower back down. Take one more breath. And we exhale all the way down. Nice work. One more time, press into your hands. We're just pressing onto hands and knees and then sending the hips back to child's pose. Reach your hands forward. You might drop your head to the floor or lower towards the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. From here, we'll just take our time transitioning onto our backs. So you might just turn over. Send your feet out long in front of you. And then we'll slowly lower all the way down. When you get there, pull one knee in towards your chest and then the other. Coming into this pose called Apanasana. So when we get knees in towards chest, if you feel like it's right for you, you might wrap your arms around your legs. Maybe you lift your nose up towards your knees. Wherever you are, think of pulling your knees in and squeezing. Squeeze a little bit tighter. You might even squeeze up your face a little bit. We're creating some tension before we relax. One more squeeze. Deep breath in. And on your exhale, lower the back and neck to the floor. Extend the legs long. Let your toes fall open towards the corners of your mat, and then let your arms open on your sides with your palms up. If it feels good, you can close your eyes, or you might just soften your gaze. This is our final pose, our savasana. I'll be silent for a little bit here, but in this pose, we just take time to notice the effects of our practice, to observe how we feel and where we are. So take these next few moments and just tune in and let it all go. When you're ready, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just bring some gentle movement back into your body as you bring your awareness back to your body. And then we'll step the feet together, keeping the legs nice and long. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Find this nice, big, full body stretch. Slowly bring one sole of the foot to the floor and then the other. Roll over to one side and pause. And gently press yourself up and come back to that seated position that we started in. Bring one hand to rest on your heart. Let the other rest on top of it. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, bow your chin to your chest and just give yourself a moment of gratitude for your practice and for your time. Thank you for sharing your practice and your time with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll meet you back here next time.